Welcome to my channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe. An emerging global maritime trade transport system and drivers in maritime transportation. A global maritime freight transport system has been established since the late 19th century and expanded with containerization. Circum-equatorial route, with the expansion of the Panama Canal expected to come online in 2014, a relative parity will exist for the first time between the Panama and Suez canals. In such a setting, maritime shipping companies may elect to establish circum-equatorial routes in both directions with the usage of high-capacity 8,000 to 12,000 TEU container ship. This high-frequency conveyor belt could support a significant share of global east-west freight movement in a cost-effective way. This does not imply a homogeneous service, as several different configurations of port or call are possible along this route, particularly if a 300 nautical miles deviation is considered. This enables different circum-equatorial network configurations. North-south pendulum connectors. These connectors reflect existing commercial relations, namely for raw materials such as oil, minerals, agriculture goods, such as South America or North America, Africa or Europe or Australia or Asia. For container shipping, they are mostly based on the rationale that there is not enough volume to support transoceanic services, so cargo is collected or delivered along latitudinal sequences of ports. This conventional network will be expanded with transshipment opportunities with the circum-equatorial route. Transoceanic pendulum connectors connect through pendulum services selected ports of the facetes of large oceanic masses. The three main transoceanic connectors are Trans-Pacific, Asia-Europe through the Indian Ocean, and Transatlantic. The industrialization of Asia, China in particular, has made the Asia-Europe and the Trans-Pacific connectors particularly important. Growth within the BRIC countries, Brazil, India, and China, favors the emergence of a new connector in the southern hemisphere between the east coast of South America, the Cape of Good Hope, and to Southeast Asia. Transshipment markets, they connect religion port systems to transoceanic and circum-equatorial routes, mainly through hub and spoke services. The relay function between long-distance shipping service performed by those markets is also significant. The most important are Southeast Asia, the Mediterranean, and the Caribbean. They are revered as markets because the transshipment function and can be substituted to another port. Therefore, a group of ports in a transshipment market are bidding for port calls, as this type of traffic is difficult to anchor. The development of circum-equatorial routes is thus likely to expand the opportunities of transshipment, including interlining between these routes. Drivers in the maritime transportation. A summary. For ports and maritime shipping, the most complex policies have been related to security considerations, namely advance notice of cargo content and scanning cargo at ports. These have been absorbed in practices and cost as efficient security procedures became a competitive factor along supply chains. An emerging driver concern the governance of increasingly regionalized ports issue discussed more in detail in the next section, since containerized maritime transportation is strongly derived from the level of consumption of final goods. Aging is likely to place pressures on future growth potential. As a greater share of the global population lives in urban areas, additional pressures are felt on port terminal facilities that find themselves with limited room for expansion. New sites are therefore located farther away from existing activity centers, which leads to new opportunities for more efficient connections with inland transport system. Paradoxically, maritime transportation is the most energy efficient mode, but bunker fuel accounts for about 50% of operating costs. Any change in energy prices has a direct impact on operations as there are limited options to absorb higher costs. Due to local pressures, several ports are embarking in various environmental regulations such as restricting ship engine idling and drayage, which focus on noise and pollutant emissions. For instance, it is common that a truck will end its life cycle in drayage operations. Climate change is also an issue that may add to the sustainability of transport systems, particularly in terms of a more stringent regulatory framework. IT also has a high potential to contribute to trade facilitation through more efficient custom procedures as cargo information become more standardized and exchangeable. Improvements in material and engines are also highly possible with the expected benefits on shipping and materials, namely in terms of performance. A particular realm concerns terminal automation, which is particularly suitable for ports that have a good volume and acute real estate pressures. But for port and maritime shipping, the short and medium terms underline a process of rationalization. The exploitation of comparative advantages, which have been a driving force of globalization, is yielding lower productivity gains, and many suppliers are reconsidering their outsourcing strategies. It can be expected that containerization will reach a pace of maturity, at least in advanced economies, that future growth potential will be more limited to niche markets, such as commodities. Hinterland access regimes 15 are developing as important port competition factors, particularly in light of the food loss transshipment function. Since the maritime sector is highly capital-intensive port for shipping and ports, finance will be a particularly acute issue in the coming years. While in the last decade finance was relatively easy to secure because of high traffic growth expectation and overcapacity access, which will take years to absorb. Returns on investment, or ROI, are likely to be less significant than expected, implying that maritime transportation will be a less attractive venue for financial firms. The bankruptcy of some maritime shipping companies and terminal operations is possible. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.